Yeah. What's really happening, man? Miami, what they do? Man, it's your boy OG Jigavella, man, the host of the biggest and the fastest growing podcast in Miami, man. Y'all tap in, what they do. I've been bringing y'all heavy hitters from the industry. I done brought y'all, know what I mean, some from down south, all the way from Little Haiti. I just bring y'all a bunch of different situations, right? But today, the person I'm finna introduce to y'all, man, this somebody personal. This from my book, Pressure. So those of y'all that's reading the book, that's already got the book, and y'all want to know who KK was, one of day ones that I went to prison with when we was nothing but 14 and 15 years old, man. Straight out of Opelika, Carol City, man. All the way up there to Cloverleaf Apartments where I met him at, man. I'm gonna bring him in. KK, what's up, man?
Hey, boy, what they do, Jed?
You already know
what
you gonna get red. You get just like a celebrity, boy. You gonna get red carpet treatment, man. You see what it is, man.
Appreciate that.
Have a seat, King. Thanks for coming. So, KK, man, before we much get into this interview, right? Because I know how the comments work, and cause I've been doing this for a minute. Since I came home, and since you came home, you know the mission.
Yeah.
But for those that be in the comment thinking that I'm out here glorifying any criminal activity or acting like prison was cool, I'm just gonna let you know, man, that ain't what this for. That ain't what this about. I brought my main man here, hoping that a lot of y'all young cats that's following me, that's part of Miami, that's or anywhere in the world, man, that's following the podcast, what they do. We gonna bring you some content because we really in the business of trying to save these kids from going to prison or ending up in the graveyard, man. So this interview right here, it ain't about the grind. It's about lives, man. It's about trying to bring some sense to what's not going, what's some senseless stuff that's going out there wrong in the world, man. With all this drill music, this op music, and just try to wake the young kids up. Cause like I be telling y'all with the white towel, the game is dead, man. So getting into it, bro. I just wanna put some credibility to the book first and foremost, right? You know what I mean? Cause this our life story. You know what I mean? This book here just as part of my life, it is yours, right? Mm-hmm. And we was real young when we made some decisions that took us away from our family, you know what I mean, for long time, some decades.
Yeah.
So let me give the people a little backdrop on you, KK. Where you from?
From Carol City.
Originally?
Originally.
But that ain't where I met you at, though.
Cloverleaf, who was in Carol City?
You consider that Carol, but people won't say that's Carol City. They gonna say that's like what, Miami Gardens?
New Orleans area.
New Orleans area. Yeah. That's where I met you at. But I thought you was from Opelika, because they're like your family from Opelika.
But I was in OL too, though.
Okay.
Bunch Park, all that type of shit.
That's what I'm saying. But I did meet you in Cloverleaf, man. And I'm gonna take y'all back. When I first met this cat, right? I think I got you by a year.
Yeah, I love you some time.
I got you by a year. Yeah. I'm 50, you probably about 49 now, right? So when I met you, I thought you was older than me, KK, cause for real. I'm gonna take y'all back, man. I had came home from Okeechobee boys school. No, I hadn't been to boys school yet. I had just came home from a juvenile little bid or whatever. Yeah. And you was doing some grown man shit when I met you, man. You were working for the Jamaicans and shit over there, man. And they had that when the Jamaicans had like a lot of Miami on lock.
They had it on lock around that time.
Right. So when we was in Cloverleaf, shout out to Cloverleaf Apartment, man, when it was really, really wild around there, man. First thing I seen was what was hanging out your pocket?
some big shit.
Nah, for real, I'm talking about like I seen some big ass pistol hanging out. I think it was a 9 or something at the time.
I think it was a 9.
It was a 9, because you gave me a 380.
The 380.
So, you gave me the 380, so it was a 9. So I seen them, some of the homies were like, yeah, this KK, man. And I was like, yeah, what's up, homie? And I seen you, and you were dressed like a grown man. I'm trying to tell you, wearing the silk game back then. Yeah. You know, you got it together today, man, with your drip, always been there.
Shut up, my nigga. Same with you, bro.
So when they brought me to you, when they brought me to KK, right? And I ain't gonna hog the story, I just want to set the play, right? So he could tell his part. When they brought me to KK, I was looking at it and I was like, damn, so I thought he was a little older than me, not knowing that I had him about a year. And we just clicked from there, man. Tell how I was when it happened.
Shit, when you came around, though, them niggas were talking about you the same way, though. The crazy shit, not to glorify the bullshit, they were like, oh, boy, that's that boy Gigolo, man. this and that, and then they gave me a little background on you. I'm like, man, I'm fucking with dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's basically how we linked up. Our spirits aligned up, things fell in line, and you know, all bullshit aside though, we got caught up in the bullshit too. You know?
We ain't gonna get, we gonna get there. I'm trying to walk them through it, right? And the reason I'm walking y'all through it because so many young cats that's out here in the streets right now today are dealing with that same pressure that I entitled my book with, that we were dealing with, cause we was out there about the money though. That what made me connect with you. Everybody that introduced me to you, they was smoking and chilling. You was getting money. You was on the clock.
For sure though.
Cause that what you had done told. You chilled for a second. You were like, boy, I got to get back around here.
For sure though.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure though.
What made you start working for the Jamaicans so early on at 14 years old?
Well, when I was in the Leafs, that's who was getting money. You know what I'm saying? You had certain niggas around there doing their little thing, but the dreads also gave me proverbs to live by, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? They would tell a nigga not to treat his nose. You know what I'm saying? Don't go down, shit like that. And I thought them was valuable things. But not only that, them boys were getting paper. So it was close by the house, so it made it easy for me, you know what I'm saying, to merge in with them boys and try to find my way.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
But you know what kind of stood out for me when I met you? Out of all the niggas, they wasn't getting everybody work around there.
Nah,
they wasn't fucking with everybody.
No like that.
What you think made them just fuck with you though? I know, but tell the people why you think they made them fuck with you.
Shit, me personally, man, I just think, I don't know, I can't really put no emphasis on it, but all I know is a nigga spirit kind of guy, a nigga everywhere he go. So maybe it was a nigga spirit, maybe it was a nigga stand up.
I ain't gonna let you get away. I'm gonna be for real. I'm gonna tell you from the outside looking in what I thought it was. Like I told you when I seen you, you looked it and acted older than what you was.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You was a man child, KK. You might not look at that at yourself, but once I got to hang around you and seeing the dynamics of what your household was like, I understood, you know what I mean, why you was outside.
Yeah.
So explain to them like how was you growing up with your dad, single mom, what it was? Cause that what made me know like you was a man child.
Yeah, I came over the household with my mom and my brother. It was 2 boys and 1 lady, man. Old girl was grinding, doing what she got to do at the end of the day. But you know, a nigga really was like the man of the house as a child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was things the old girl was able to provide, but some things she wasn't able to provide.
Right.
So with that developed the tenacity to want to go out there and get it. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that's basically how that went at that time.
So what it sound like you saying to me, and the reason I'm gonna emphasize it, is so many young kids in the inner city, especially Miami, that have that dilemma, man. Like they gotta be the man of the house, you know what I mean? And not only in protection, but in providing, right?
Definitely.
I know what it was. I done spent the night at your crib. Like if you wasn't bringing the grocery in some nights, you know what I'm saying? Cause your old girl was definitely outside, cause we used to get the car.
Yeah.
We used to get the whip. You know what I mean? What your old girl had then? A Hugo or what it was?
Subaru.
A Subaru, one of them little small cars. And you were driving before me, and a stick shift.
Yeah.
Right, man. That was real, man. Like, we were going to Studio 183 at 14.
Yeah.
I was 15, you were 14, dressed up like the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Travel foxes on, clogs with the silk suits.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell us we wasn't grown men, man.
Motherfucking
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what I want to get out here as a message to the young people, man, that may be in that same situation, man, when you get through watching this video, after we explain to you how we scratched up under that pressure, how that pressure, it didn't bust us, but how it cost us so many lives, so many years of our life in prison for some choices we made. So I'm gonna get to some of the choices that we made after we lined up and got together. You was into working for Jamaican, I was into robbery. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was preaching. So I was into robbery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we started going. I brought you around Brown Sub. You know what I mean? I brought you to the sub.
One time,
and we were hitting the
Brown
lights
Sub.
then. We were hitting the light. We were hitting them at the light and everything at the then. You know what I mean? It wasn't no spark plug game then.
I remember that shit.
Right, you remember that, right?
I remember that shit.
So you remember busting back at the
Right at the park.
I'm talking about the time when we got on 7. We can talk about it now.
Right?
17th and 41st at the light when we came running by, and it was what they had the security dude that was out there that night, and all the laughed and Red Cross behind the way. know what I mean? Shout out to Juki and all my little homeboys around there,
time,
Phillip.
Phillip, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But real shit though, know what I mean? We was doing this shit broad daylight at the light.
Dog,
We was out there, man.
Dog.
Sometime I'll ride now.
We were argue as fuck, dog.
But you know, sometime I ride now, man, and I be at a stoplight and I just look at everybody that's moving around. I be like, man, if they only knew that me and guys like you used to, you know, feel compelled to have to do what we was doing right there at the light, man, in front of everybody, didn't care who was there or whatever. So let's get to a very important turning point in our life, right? The one that sent us to prison, the one that ultimately sent you to prison first, and I ended up going to boys school, right? It's in the book Pressure. For those of y'all that already read it, it's the part that I'm talking about when we robbed those people from the after we left the Omni Mall, right? I want the audience that's watching this, I want the young people that watching this, I don't want you to judge us. I want you to try to walk in our shoes what led us make that decision. Because I often thought about it, and I felt fucked up about how much time you got. I'm telling you right now, you know what I'm saying? In front of everybody, I was like, and the way that your mama looked at me in the courtroom, because you was on point before you started really hanging. You was doing your little thing with Jamaicans, but you really wasn't robbing.
Yeah,
like
dog,
that.
like the old girl kind of faulted at you, but at the end of the day, it really wasn't your fault. Dog, a nigga was out there too, though. You feel what I'm saying? It just so happened I was the gunman. And that's how that shit happened. I got pointed out.
We both were guns. We both had guns, but I'm just saying you the one was clap. You the one started clapping for it. You popped. You popped. I'm gonna get to that, and I ain't laughing like it's funny. But I wasn't expecting this man to start shooting because we had already got everything. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you, you don't remember this part though. We really was gone, bro.
Let's tell the story from the beginning. Let's tell the story from the beginning so they can understand, because I want to point out the mindset. I don't want to point out like the bullshit. I want to point out what led us to make, you know what I'm saying, your son around, your kids watch this video. I don't want them to think that, you know what I'm saying, we made that decision because we was just some badass kids. We were products of poverty in Liberty City, man. I know I was. And I was buying my own school clothes. I had a baby on the way and every motherfucking thing, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of pressure, man. So what happened was, and I'm gonna let you say part, I'm gonna explain part of it, and I'm gonna let KK say part of it, right? What happened was, I had just rented away from in the book you'll find I had just rented away from a drug program. I had got caught selling some dope, you know what I'm saying, over there by Essential in Robin Hood. And they gave me, the game was back then, if you get caught selling dope, you tell them you use it. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we'll get short of time. We'll convince them that we was on the drugs instead of just being a distributor, right? So I had to convince juvenile hall people, you know what I'm saying, the judge and everybody, that I needed drug treatment. And when they send you to the drug treatment program, you just walk on out. You know what I mean? So I did that. And when I did that, I'm kind of like on a run at this time. And I cut back into KK, and I was like, boy, I need some money. I got a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? We had two other homeboys that I mentioned in the book. Shout out to Dooney.
For sure. What they do, Dooney?
And Pat Dooney cousin, man, right? So Dooney and Pat had a summer job. They had worked summer jobs, so they had some money.
Nigga had money.
They had money, you know what I'm saying? They had a summer job, so they had money. Me and you, our pocket was on E. You know, we had enough to get over time.
That was it.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let you say, I told you how it happened, so tell them what else happened, where we end up, and what ended up happening when we got over there.
Man, the crazy shit, we get overtime, and Dooney, he don't want to do nothing because he got money in his pocket, but it's getting ready to be school time. His pocket's flat, my pocket's flat, but both of us got $5. So we go in the mall without the intentions of taking anything. But you know what? Dooney tried to do something. Did Dooney try to break us off?
No, Dooney always talking about breaking the nigga off,
but we got in the mall, he
right.
just buying shit, and we walking around like motherfucking chaperones and shit. And a nigga pockets was fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? So a nigga decided when we left, it wasn't a plan. It was just that what we seen, we felt like it was a Vic, and a nigga reacted on it.
Right.
But a nigga pockets fucked up, old girl struggling, you got a jit on the way. You feel what I'm saying? So situation and circumstances took place.
Right.
You know, and nigga made an instant decision, a rash decision that affected a nigga whole life.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
So what he left out, I'm gonna feel some of that. I like that. I get real.
No, but
I'm the writer. I'm the writer.
Straight like that.
What he said, what happened in a nutshell, basically, you know what I mean? Both of us was fucked up, but we was already by that time that we had already competed a few little robberies before that didn't really pay them that much, right? But but we was already in the rhythm and ran because we didn't even have to.
Yeah.
We worked. It was like one mind that when shit like that go down, we automatic. Look, there it is. No, ain't no trying to amp you up to do it.
Nah.
We knew what we were gonna do, and we did it real. We did it well. I'll be honest with you. If you really want to look at it like for real, like we really got what we came to do, and we did it without trying to harm anybody. That was gold.
That situation right there.
Yeah. So let me tell y'all what happened. So we in the mall. I actually started trying some clothes on.
Yeah.
So I remember being inside the try-on room, and they got the mirror there, and I remember taking the pistol out and putting pants. I'm saying I wanted these people could see me.
Yeah.
So that what really made me like, man, let's get ready, let's get up out of here.
Yeah.
So Dooney and Pat had they shopping bags of clothes. I think at that time everybody was buying the Levi jeans because NWA was coming out, Levi t-shirt. With the gangster Nikes and shit. So Dooney them had they little gear. We like, man, I'm like, I want me some. I want to look like NWA too. You know what I'm saying? I want me some Levi's and motherfucking gangster Nikes and shit too. You know, dope boy Nikes. So I'm mad. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm mad cause I like the dress. You like the dress. You know what I mean? And so let me fill them in. So we were at the Omni Mall at the time, man. And everybody know how the Omni is. That's near Overtown on Biscayne. And so I want to give y'all a picture so y'all can understand how desperate, you know what I mean, and how much pressure young kids be under when they feel like they gotta do for their own self, man, or do for their family, right? Cause I want them to feel this shit.
Feel you, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm emphasizing. I want them to know that we wasn't just some badass kids. Yeah. We felt like we didn't know better. That's why we didn't do better. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want them to think that we was just some menace to society type shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? I had a kid on the way. He was a sole provider, basically damn near most of the time for his household. You know what I mean? We ran our homeboys. That's what you call peer pressure. Yeah. Somebody else got money and we ain't got money. For sure. These young kids are under more pressure because they got the social media hype behind it. You know what I mean? So it's needed for them to hear our story. You know what I mean? This is why I'm doing this, man. This is why I'm bringing it to y'all. Not to say, oh, I'm a badass nigga. No, man. You know what I'm saying? To tell you that our kids are under this type of pressure every day. And I want to tell the kids that's under this type of pressure, don't do what the fuck we did. So we coming out the Omni Mall. It's like 12 noon, 1 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? The evening, broad daylight. And when you hit the corner, we heading to Overtown on foot. I see the people in the car, you know what I'm saying? I see the man Rolex on his arm, and I looked at KK, I said, KK, that's it. I gave him the head nod. KK came from the woman's side, the passenger side, I took the driver. You know what I mean? I up, KK up, we getting with it, right? I got the man wallet, his watch, I could talk about it, we done time about it. As I'm looking at the watch, and it's cars going, the funny thing, we sitting there like we got all the time in the world, don't worry about who around, because I'm sitting there looking to make sure the watch real, you know what I mean? I'm getting his wallet and every taking our time. The cars that's at the light, they're going around the robbery. Yeah. But for some reason, what we call a hero, we call them heroes. That means somebody that's willing to put themselves in harm's way to know what I mean, to prevent what we was doing happening to somebody else. Shout out to the heroes, man, no problem. You're doing a good deed. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say you're a bad person for being a hero. I'm not finna be no hero. You know what I mean? I'm gonna mind my own business, man, because I know people are desperate. And he could have lost his life that day. You know what I mean? All I remember hearing was freeze, motherfucker, freeze. And then I heard your shot.
Oh, that shit crazy. Can I tell my part on how
Go ahead.
At that point, after we done got all we was supposed to got, you had the little items. You was getting ready to bust a move. I'm getting ready to bust a move. And I looked at it, I said, gee, I was really thinking about why we got to run over town. These bitches in the car. Let's make them get out the car. We get the car. We can say fuck over town and go on back where we came from. So that round back what really caught us. Because the hero, I think back then, they had the car phone. Right. He had already called City of Miami. You feel me? Right. And that was during the initial robbery. By the time we step off and we step back was when he jumped out and said, freeze. Right. You was smart. I panicked and ran in front of the car, but not paying attention. I just robbed these people in the car I'm standing in front of. So that's what put me on like, boy, you better do something. You feel what I'm saying? So when I seen him standing out there with the fire, I'm like, damn. So I tried to fake a couple times to run. He don't never bust. So I'm spooked. I pop. You know what I'm saying? But after I pop, he popped back.
I remember hearing the bullets. It was like some little poles in the ground right there.
The
Little
old
small.
car lot shit was
Yeah,
there.
the old car lot. They had them little car lot poles. I remember hearing ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
So I'm like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, though.
Nah, but yeah, so when that situation happened, my nigga, I sat there and trying to decide on where to run before they hit drive and run a nigga over.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I dumped a couple more back at him. He dumped back and I ran off dumping at him till all my shit was gone and fortunately nobody got hit, man.
But you know, I remember when we made it to the graveyard.
Yeah.
That's when I look back and see, cause I was going to win too,
gone, boy.
right?
You
I
good.
made it over town, right? But listen,
good.
I remember seeing you stop in the graveyard and start fucking with the
It's
pocketbook.
because I heard the police coming. I didn't want to run with
And be having the
book.
pocketbook in
So
your
I was
hand.
trying to get whatever I can out of get rid of
And
that.
you did get a lot out of
I
it,
did.
cause you fed us for a long time in juvenile. I
did,
kept saying, and that's another part of the story, man. But so reliving this shit, right? I actually went back to that spot, me and my cameraman, and we were gonna run some footage, you know, because
do a
it's
walk
important.
through that one
Yeah,
day, man.
it's important for this story to get out, man. And that's why I wrote the book.
Yeah.
I ain't wrote the book to glorify shit I done. When I wrote my book, it was in mind to really like come out and change, make a change and be changed. You know what I mean? Because I know I was never really a bad nigga, man, bad dude, man. I just wanted some money.
Dog,
you know what I'm
to be
saying?
honest, I don't mean to cut you off, but the most ironic thing about all that, my nigga, dog, I was an honor roll student and all before I started dropping out of school. Like a nigga wasn't generally a bad kid.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like you say, dog, peer pressure and the effects of your environment, my nigga, it eventually take a hold of you. You know, so what you're doing right now is exactly what a nigga need to be doing, really delivering that information to them jits and not glorifying the bullshit.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? A bitch couldn't tell us nothing at that time, cause bumping and thumping, and nigga on all that.
Man, yeah,
and
they
it
was
wasn't
hungry.
no perpetrating, it was for real, for real.
But
feel what I'm saying?
KK, you know what's so scary about us, what we did in our era versus this era now?
Yeah.
We were motivated by money, man. These young kids out here just
go
claiming and set tripping over spots and places that they don't own shit, their family don't own nothing. I'm from this hood, you from that hood. Like, I wasn't never into that shit right there. I was into the money, right? And not to say you should do it for money, but I'm just trying to say, at least I could rationalize with myself.
With some type of real motivation.
When I went and laid down, I could honestly, that's how I heal. I could say, man, you know, ain't nothing worth my freedom now. So I could turn off my bullshit. What's gonna turn these kids off? Cause the decision that they're making, like now, is based upon like I want to be down. Half of them don't. It's more opportunity than when we was coming up. It's more motherfuckers trying to holler at them. Motherfucker wasn't trying to holler at us.
For sure.
But motherfucker was teaching us the game. But a motherfucker wasn't trying to like, hey man, or podcasting and motherfuckers trying to be OGs.
No, that wasn't available.
That's the scary part, man. That's the part that's why like the work that I'm doing and like a lot of the women. The women of these young kids be rooting for me to tell my story. I actually be going back into school now and doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Right, because we gotta like I follow Marcus Garvey. When I went to the joint, and I'm asking about your experience, and I want them to know how much time you caught behind that, because we ain't just gonna talk about the robbery and not talk about the results of the shit, right? But I just want to tell you when I was did time. What it inspired me to write books, because I was reading a lot. And I was reading books that was helping change my mentality. Cause I had the mentality I'd rather be in jail than out here broke. You know what I'm saying? I had some fucked up ass mentality. So we'll talk about that later on why I got you here. Take us down to, cause we end up getting caught. We end up going to juvenile. How was that? Was that your first time going to juvenile?
That was my first time ever being locked up.
I remember you went to the first offender unit.
Yeah, that was my first time being locked up. I had a probation charge, but I never got locked up to that time right there. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first experience of being locked up, and that shit rolled the whole time. I went to prison from that shit.
And you knew I knew that. So you understand why I felt so fucked up by you know what I'm saying?
Nigga.
I knew, cause when we were out there, they sent me to the front units, to the season units, you know what I mean? Up there, my unit, we had the actual Florida blue khakis on.
Yeah.
You know, the Florida.
What
the
that
unit,
was that unit I had on? They had
that was you was in unit 11. That's unit 11 and 12 is the first offender unit.
What the colors were, like gray?
Dark blue. Both of us had blue. You had the navy, you had the dark navy, but I had the light state Florida prison blue. Cause the unit that I was on, for those of y'all that don't know, but those of y'all do know, juvenile hall has what you have for motherfuckers like me that was repeated offenders. They would put us in the hardcore units. Y'all had the good toilets with the cleaner room. We had the steel fucking toilets up front. They was preparing the institutionalization that I ended up going through.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? In my life, they knew I was hardened.
That's
right?
Crazy.
And it's fucked up. I ain't saying that ain't no bragging, right? But like jail wasn't shit to me.
Yeah.
Like I would go in there and it was like a second home. You know what I'm saying? I would go in there and feel, you know, like it fucked some people up, but it wouldn't fuck me up. I could reform. So take us back to like being in there for the first time, facing all the time that they was talking about.
Nigga, that was hell. That was the worst part of my life, dog. Like, a nigga was a shouty. So, you know, a nigga used to go home with the old girl every day. This situation took a nigga from being home, and it was a hell of a culture shock for a nigga, you know what I'm saying? I had to adjust and adapt fast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that nightmare continued for years.
How much time you end up getting behind that situation? Shit. I know, but let them know.
Shit, but they sentenced me, they were first talking about 67 years. Because the victims, if you don't recall.
Tell them the charges, though. Tell them the charges. What all the charges? 3
counts of first degree attempted murder, 2 counts of armed robbery, 1 count possession of a firearm, and burglary of a conveyance.
Didn't they have carjacking in there too for us?
Nah, it was.
Carjacking wasn't the law then, wasn't the law?
Carjacking, it was robbery. But they gave me 3 first degree attempts, like a bitch had to hit somebody.
Right, attempted murder. We did have the three counts of attempted murder.
But that just because they saying off the investigation, trajectory of the bullets went through the headrest, through the windshield and the jam of the door where Buddy was at in the back. So they saying my motive was to kill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, dog, that was the hardest shit of my life. I mean, I had to psychologically transform my way of thinking to cope and adapt so that a nigga don't lose his sanity in the process. But originally they were trying to give me 67 years. They eventually gave me 40 years, 15 in, 25 out. And that was because the victim, for all the time he was coming to court, he was recommending, mind you, now the judge was his partner, or his wife was the judge.
His wife was a judge.
At the detention center.
Right, his wife was a judge.
Yeah. So,
and he was a lawyer.
And he was a lawyer. So everybody knew everybody. I was the guinea pig in the process, so they was trying to send me away for the rest of my life.
In spite of this being your first offense.
But the dude, and kudos to him, at the end of the day, he came in the sentencing day and was like, man, you know, I couldn't sleep last night. My wife and I, we sat back and talked. He's just a child. And to see him go away for the rest of his life ain't something that I want to support. The judge was on the opposition saying, we've already departed a couple of cells. What are you talking about, Mr. Drux? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was like, Your Honor, I wouldn't be good with myself to see him going away forever. So that 40 years they was trying to give me, they split it up now. It went from 67 to 40. All right, the 40 years, they split it up, gave me 15 in, 25 out. So shit, I was fighting that for years.
Man, the day, I ain't gonna lie, the day that we went, at the time, us being, he 14 and I'm 15 years old, they couldn't just try us as an adults, right? So I'm gonna give y'all some law. This what, 89, 90?
90.
This 90. Direct file was just starting to happen where they was charging juveniles as adults, right? It was just had started really being implemented more and more, right? So they had what they call like a mini trial with me and him, right? And I remember that day because, you know, my baby was born. Cause my daughter was born while we was in juvenile. I got the holder in the back where we were waiting to go inside to this mini trial, right? And mind you, all the charges that he had, I had them too, but I had an extra charge. I had cocaine with 1,000 feet of a school zone because I still had the runaway charge from the program.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had 2 counts of armed robbery, 3 counts of attempted murder, and shooting in occupied dwellings, whatever shit else we had. Yeah. And I also had added on, I had cocaine with 1,000 feet of school zone. So I'm gonna tell y'all that why that was important. That's the leverage they used to make me cop out because I beat the trial. When we went to that waiver hearing, when they couldn't find probable cause, I supposed to been over there in the county on the 10th floor with you at the same time. Niggas sending me bomb threats over there too at the time, cause man, nigga was writing kites. I'll tell you about that later on, man. But niggas wanted my head.
For real?
Niggas, I was points. I was beating niggas' ass in the hall from before you started coming to the hall. So niggas were waiting. They had done got their little push-ups up there. They was sending bomb kites back to the juvenile hall. But I don't know what I'm saying when Jig come up here, what they was gonna do, this, that, and the third. I ended up running into a lot of them niggas and beating their motherfucking ass anyway on adult floors. You know what I'm saying? That they called themselves had a problem with me, but that's neither here or there. I want to put y'all in the set of what would happen in the courtroom because I really want to get to the part, the look that your mama gave me, man. That shit haunted me for years to this day. Like, I'm still scared to go around your mama. I still don't want to meet.
I would come to spot up with you, dog.
I still don't want to go see your mama again, man.
Love. She understands.
Man, I'm talking about if looks could have killed.
It would have killed you.
Man, I'd have been dead in that motherfucking courtroom, y'all.
Yeah.
and I felt bad because I know you wasn't doing that type of shit. You was hustling. You were bringing legit bread. Not to saying that you wasn't built for the shit. You showed you were built for it, but it was my lane. You know what I mean? I was the type of motherfucker, I'd try anything. If it had some paper to it, you talk about run up in the bank, I was with it. You know what I'm saying? So we had the little mini waiver hearing. The direct filers, they brought all the victims in. I remember the little white man in there shaking and shit. They had to take a break, recess, because they asked him to point us out. And that's why I remember finally what color you had on. Because that was an emphasis on when he was pointing us out. I was sitting there with the light blue on, and you was sitting next to me with the dark blue on. And your mama and them was sitting right over there in the little area where the families and shit be at. And I was in an angle towards your mama and them, and you was right there on my left. And the judge was sitting up in the thing right here, and the witness stand was right in front of us. And they brought the little white man in, the one that I think he was traumatized because I put that thing in his face. So he didn't want him to look at me no more, right? So when they asked him, can you point out the ones that committed robbery, and the woman never really came in.
No, she said
she couldn't do it. She was too traumatized. She never came in. So the man came in, and then the dude that we bust at, he couldn't really identify us anyway because he was ducking bullets. So the only witness that they had was the actual one who I got to watch from, and I think I fucked him up and traumatized him where he couldn't look at me no motherfucking more. You know what I'm saying? So when he looked, he did like that. He said he's sitting right there with the blue on. And the judge said both of the defendants are wearing blue. And he said, and that's when I was sitting, I'm shaking, I'm like, boy, I ain't want it for you, but I ain't want it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Who want it for themselves now? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real.
No, I
I wasn't happy that you got pointed out, and I didn't. I was just, I was hoping he couldn't point neither one of us out. But when he said blue, I knew he was talking about but when he said I knew he wasn't saying both of us. I was like, what the you know what I mean? And I'm rooting for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made it extra hurt me. And I felt extra shame looking at your mama because I didn't get pointed out and I knew it was my idea. You know what I'm saying? And he pointed at the dark blue. And I was like, and then I was sad. First I was happy, then I was sad because I'm like, this is my dog. And we went back and they ended up direct filing KK to the 10th floor as an adult. And then I was facing, they had to basically drop all the charges on me. But they squeezed me with the dope charge. And they kept me back there to where I ended up like, fuck it, they told me boys school, I wasn't going to the adult prison. I was like, fuck it, run Toby. You know what I'm saying? It's better than what, and I felt I didn't want to just get I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't want to just get all the way out.
No, that was the game though, like at the end of the day, my nigga, you know, a nigga gotta try to, I don't want to glorify the bullshit either though, but you know, in a tight situation like that, you trying to win, dog. You feel what I'm saying? Without no compromise, a nigga trying to win. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was what it was, dog.
Man, but you couldn't tell your mama, your aunties them was in there, your mama was in there, you was the patriarch, you was her oldest son. I looked at her, man, and that shit fucked with me. I went back to the cell, bro. I ain't gonna say I cried, I ain't gonna say, I just know I didn't want to talk, you know what I'm saying? That's when you start fronting the money. You had got away with some of the money. You actually had a bunch of the money inside the hall. You know, you were just busting it down with me back there. You know, we buying shit out. We working the staff, getting everything we want.
For sure.
But I don't want to make it that long. I just wanted to share that story with y'all, right? If y'all want to read more about the story and more about me and KK, man, I talk about him often in the book. Before I end the interview, I want to talk about the man that you became from after the situation, going through prison. 'Cause I know you got some trades. I know you're a father. You know what I mean? I know you're a respectable man right now. I know you stand on principle.
For sure.
Fast forward, we ain't got to tell us all about prison, but going in prison with that much time on your hand, man, how you stayed positive and stayed focused with some hope?
Shit, that was after about 6 or 7 years. The first 6 or 7 years. Matter of fact, I did 11 years in prison on the 15 before I got out. But about the first 5, 6 years, I say, a nigga was on dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how I survived. Cause the nigga was about whatever, on however, whoever, you feel me? And it was probably about my 6th year in the joint that I started saying, boy, you gonna get out one day, my nigga. You need to put something up under your belt. And so, just like you in the joint, dog, I read all type of books, man. I read all type of philosophy from Socrates, Plato, Sigmund Freud, read Malcolm X books, Marcus Garvey, shout out to my nigga too.
Shout out to Malcolm X, man. I read the biography too, man. Y'all young kids need to know who these brothers was. They died for us, and they definitely got a story. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, but that started brightening up other chambers of my mind. You know what I'm saying? So once a nigga was established that a nigga ain't no pushover, it was easy for me to find a lane that I felt would be beneficial for me once I jumped. So yeah, I started occupying my mind, dog. You know, we were self-educated because nigga really ain't complete school. So my articulation, my understanding of things, it all was derivative from niggas sitting in the joint and utilizing his time properly. In the midst of all that, you know, I got my GED, got some little college courses, got different trades, but I eventually found that HVAC trade, which became my #1 moneymaker since I've been out. You feel what I'm saying?
Shit, you in Miami, the hottest, one of the hottest cities in the motherfucking world. I know you eating. You looking good.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I can tell. See, and I want to point out, you got your nice jewelry on, you got your, your polo on, the same shit we were robbing for.
Crazy, right?
You done got it through a trade, man. That's another lesson that I want the young people to take from this interview, man. Don't be pulled into the wild shit we did. Listen to the results once we got, after doing that time, once we got, we knew better. Once we started knowing better and understanding that we could get money without robbing people. You got AFAC, I got my GED while I was in, I wrote some books, I'm doing the work that I'm doing. You got a career that's gonna always need work and in the city where you at.
For sure, for sure.
So how that's been going for you? Like, what's been going on?
Man. I got my son,
You want to shout him out right quick, man?
Junior, come up here and say what's up to the people, man.
Come get some of this glory, man, because I want them to see, you know what I mean?
Look at Lil K, man. This is Lil K. This is the 2.0. There ain't no 1 point nothing. This boy here gonna do marvelous things. He a beautiful spirit. He move off of love first and let nature take its course.
This is why it's important, man. This is why it's important for me and KK to talk about our story, man, get our story out there, because who gonna guide them? Who gonna guide him? If we just allow what's going on in the streets, right? If we just allow all the assistance, gang banging, the drills, who gonna allow all that? Who gonna worry about that generation? A lot of y'all cats, right? It's a lot of y'all young brothers that's out there that OG been hollering at since he been home from prison, think that these interviews or think that these talks like we on the internet just to waste our time. He took time out his day, man, to come give this interview, and I appreciate you, man. I know how much time I done cost you to come back and still support what I'm doing, man. It's major love, man, right?
I love what you're
major
doing,
love,
bro.
right?
Like, for real, for real.
But what we just seen standing up here, man, is why I'm gonna continue what they do. It's gonna continue to do what we doing out here in the community, man. We a non-profit, you know what I mean? We taking donations, we actually support the book, help our story get out there so we can continue to, you know what I mean, make sure that we have a future, man. What you just seen standing there, and he won't have to be at nobody's light.
For real.
Doing the shit that me and KK was doing, man. He won't have to be on nobody's block claiming this or claiming that or selling this or selling that. He won't have to go do 11 years or 16 years like I did all the time that I've done in prison, man. This is why this is important for these stories to get out. Y'all support the movement, support the platform. Miami, what they do.
What they do.